for example, dua makarim al-akhlaq or dua kumail, that is what brings joy to them. So if you imagine that your dad may be looking at you now and your dad sees you reading the Quran or reading dua in honor of them, rahmah and maghfirah, that is what brings us joy. Further than that, something of the utmost importance. What is it? Say I go to Hajj and I want my dad or my mom to come Hajj with me. Someone says, bro, they're dead. No, we said that they're in barzakh. They're in the world of the souls. And the mu'min is allowed to visit their beloved. Ask Allah, Ya Allah, let them come to Hajj with me. You may not see them on that Hajj. Depends on your level. You may not see them. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wants, He'll allow them to be there alongside you. You go ziyarat al-Hussain, for example. Go to Karbala. May Allah bless us all to go to Hajj and then to go on ziyarat al-Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. You go to ziyarat al-Hussain. Say for example it's a Thursday night and you're in Karbala. You've visited Abu al-Fadl and now you want to visit Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. But you know how much your mum loved Abu Abdullah. And that night there's an emptiness in you and you want your mother to be there. Can she? 100%. Ask Allah, she'll be there with you in Karbala. Who gave us this clear story? One of our greatest maraja. Ayatollah al-Uzma, Sayyid Shahab al-Din al-Mar'ashi al-Najafi. This grand scholar, where you find his library is still there in Qom, where many ulama and many of the laity have benefited from his library. He mentions when he was younger, he just could not achieve the levels of being so strong and intellectual in his studies like what he became later on. There were moments where he felt that his memory was not the best memory. He was feeling unwell sometimes. He had a bit of waswasa, couldn't see too well, and he had always mentioned how much he wanted to serve Ahlul Bayt, but it wasn't working out for him. So he says that my father had passed away and I really had just wished my father was around so I can open up to him and say, Dad, I'm not doing too well in my studies. Remember, this was a man who studied in Najaf and in Samarra and in Kadhmain, eventually being a beacon of light in Qom. You found that this man said that I had gone to visit Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. He goes, it was winter and I had gone with the intention that, you know what, I just want to go there and I want to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, Ya Allah, strengthen me. I've come near Sayyid al-Shuhada and where he's buried. Ya Allah, strengthen me that I can continue to persevere and be forbearing in my studies so I'm able to serve your religion. He says, I went there and I was meeting the person who was in charge of the haram, who was a friend of my father, said, Mahmoud, may Allah bless his soul. I said to him, do you mind if I stay here the night? He said, Maulana. I said, what do you mean stay here the night? You know, we're going to close it. And those days, there's only candles. There's not electricity. And he said, no, please allow me just to stay the night next to Sayyid al-Shuhada. He said, I stayed there that night. When he goes, I had wished my father was here so I can open up to my father. He said, I wanted to open up my heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I wondered, where shall I sit? He said, I went near the head of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam. And he said, then I thought, no, I don't have enough about me. Who am I to sit near the head of Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam? He said, then I went towards near the chest where they say the baby is. No, he said, I went by the feet near where Ali al-Akbar is. Look how much importance and how great Ali al-Akbar's position is in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the eyes of his father, that sitting near him and talking to Allah could ensure that one of your marhumeen is in your presence in Ziyarat al-Hussain. He says that at that moment I heard a sort of movement or sound or voices from the area where Ibrahim al-Mujab is buried. So he said, I went towards that area, I turn around, I see a number of the ulama sitting, reciting the Holy Quran. Who's amongst them? My marhum father. Allah, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to, your marhum can come from the barzakh to come and visit, like those ladies helped Sayyida Khadija alayhi salam. He said, but I saw my father. Hadiths mention asfur, tair. You never know, it depends the level of iman, like how Khadija saw those ladies, you never know. He said, I saw my father. I said, Father, what are you doing here? He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opens the heavens for us. that we come on this night, Thursday night, and we recite the Quran in honor of Sayyid al-Shuhada and what he gave back to the religion of Islam. And he looked at him and he said to him, Father, believe me, this is the reason I came and I wanted to see you and I missed you and so on. He said to him, my son, stay a bit more. Why? He said, in a moment, Imam al-Hussain alayhi salam is going to come and his throne will be on the top of his darih. And he will sit there and the other malaika will join you who asked by sitting by Ali al-Akbar. This is how high this is in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayatollah al-Mar'ashi Najaf says, from that day onwards I had a strength to serve al-Muhammad salawatullah wa salam alayhima, where his library now in Qom, no doubt a sadaqah jariyah, over 20,000 square foot library which people benefit from until today. But he says it was on that night that I saw my father. And when I saw my father, my heart opened up. That my father who had passed away, here I am on ziyarah. And that's why it's a fundamental